The lion spirit's heir. Long ago, in an isolated homestead far from any village, lived a farmer and his wife. They worked the land, raised crops, and lived a simple but joyful life. Their happiness grew when they welcomed a son, and 2 years later, a daughter. But sadly, after battling an illness for 7 years, the children's mother passed away. The home grew quiet, and though the father tried his best, grief followed him like a shadow. Years later, he remarried to a woman who was beautiful in appearance, but cruel in spirit. From the very beginning, the new wife despised the children. She overworked them, beat them, and often left them hungry. When the children cried to their father, he dismissed their pain, believing they were simply struggling to accept their new mother. Then the woman gave birth to a son of her own. Then, she whispered poison into her husband's ear, telling him she could not allow outsiders to share her child's inheritance. She demanded that his first children be taken away far from the home, far from their father. For days, she nagged him without rest. At last, the man broke. One evening, he told his children he was taking them across the mountains to visit relatives. They were to leave by sundown. The boy, older and sharper than his sister, felt unease in his chest. As they walked, he quietly gathered seeds and dropped them along the path, hoping they would guide them home. They traveled deep into the forest, farther than they had ever gone. At the heart of the woods, the father told the children to wait while he stepped aside to relieve himself. Moments passed. Then silence. The light went out and he never returned. The girl cried out through the night, but no answer came. They slept beneath a bush, cold and alone. At dawn, they searched for the seed trail only to find it gone. Birds had eaten every last one. With no path home and no food, the children wandered deeper into the forest. Hunger and thirst weakened them until they came upon a shallow puddle of water. Without hesitation, the boy drank. Pain tore through his body, and he collapsed. The girl screamed and fled, hiding behind a tree as her brother's cries twisted into something unnatural. The boy awoke, confused. He followed his sister's voice and froze when he saw his reflection. He was no longer human. He had become a lion. When he tried to scream, a roar shook the forest. He ran in terror, stumbling beneath his own strength before collapsing in tears. Only when his sister gathered the courage to touch him did he calm. She knew somehow that he was still her brother. Soon after, an old woman appeared from the trees. She explained that the puddle held the spirit of the lion, the ancient guardian of the forest. Whoever drank from it would inherit its power and its duty. "It is not a curse," she said. "It is a calling." Then she vanished. Years passed. The boy mastered his strength and learned to hunt. Villagers spoke in whispers of a lion whose footsteps shook the ground and whose roar echoed for miles. To protect his sister, he built a treehouse high above the forest floor, a place no enemy could reach. The siblings survived. They endured, and they grew. One day, while the brother was away hunting, a king passed through the forest. He stopped when he saw the great tree, towering above all others. Looking up, he spotted a young woman standing within the branches. He returned again and again, calling to her. She never answered. Finally, impatient, the king declared he would cut the tree down unless she came to him. Fearing harm, the girl descended. Her name, she said, was Rose. The king was captivated. Though she refused him, he insisted, and fearing the consequences of denying a king, she agreed to marry him. As she left, she scattered flower petals along the forest floor, praying her brother would follow. When the lion returned and found his sister gone, rage shook the earth. He followed the trail, his roar announcing his arrival long before he reached the kingdom. On the day of the wedding, the ground trembled. A roar split the sky. Walls crumbled as the lion burst into the city. Rose stepped forward and commanded the soldiers to stand down. "That lion," she declared, "is my brother." The beast calmed at her voice. The king, trembling, apologized for taking her without permission. The lion demanded respect, not blood. He vowed never to harm the people nor their livestock. In return, the king welcomed him as family. Peace followed. The brother later learned to control his power, even to walk as a man again. Years later, Rose recognized a familiar face among the kingdom's traders. Her father. When the truth was revealed, sorrow and forgiveness followed. The father wept, explaining he had returned for his children but never found them. The past was forgiven, a feast was held, and the kingdom prospered. Thus ends the tale of the Lion of the Forest, a story of loss, power, forgiveness, and family.